Want to feel less down. In today's video, I'm going to talk about things we can do to feel less down, to feel better in ourselves. But before I do that, I want to make it crystal clear that I am fully aware, both from 40 odd years of being a human, countless interactions with people in my personal and professional life, 20 odd years of doing this, that our kind of negative feelings, depression, etc., I know it's not just feeling down. I know it's not just something that we have to snap out of, etc. I'm not saying that for a split second. But that doesn't also mean that whatever our mental health and situation position, that doesn't mean there aren't things we can do that will have some benefit to that. It won't leave us permanently smiling and happy 24 hours a day, because no one is, but it can have a positive impact. And the first consideration I find is just a recognition that it's okay to feel down. Because if there's one thing worse than feeling down, it's thinking that we shouldn't feel down and beating ourselves up over it. All human emotions have their place. All emotions are temporary, transient states of feeling. They're not something we fundamentally own or have or are part of us. They are just emotions. They are perhaps emotions we want to experience less frequently, to a less severe extent. They are perhaps emotions that for various reasons some of us do feel more often and more greatly. But they're ultimately just emotions. They are subject to the law of impermanence. They change. And what we can do, firstly, is to recognise that it's okay to feel down and it's just something we're feeling at the moment. What we can also do is recognise that whilst it might not get rid of it completely, there are things we can do that will probably minimise that feeling. I've yet to meet in 21 years of doing this someone who didn't find they felt less down, they felt better for having eaten better, done more exercise, got more sleep, drank more water, and possibly drank less caffeine and less alcohol and just made some positive changes to their eating. Again, they're not the entirety of it, and again, I completely get that sometimes that's the last thing we feel like doing, but that doesn't mean that they wouldn't benefit us. Other little things that we can do that are pretty quick and simple is to keep a gratitude journal, to write down at the end of every day our wins for the day and things that we're thankful for. Starts hard to start with because we've trained our brain to be really good at identifying the suboptimal parts of our day and life. But as with anything, it gets easier with time. Because whatever's happened in the day, some things will have gone well. Whatever's happened in our life at the moment, there are things we can choose to be thankful for if we just choose to frame it in that way. The human brain is very good at taking certain things for granted and focusing on what we perceive to be the less good part of it. We have to train it the opposite way. And the more we do of that, the more we recognise the good in our lives, the more we recognise what is going well. Not only do we feel better, but we use that confidence as a springboard and momentum to achieve more. So in short, it's okay to feel down. It's a perfectly natural human emotion. It's subject to the law of impermanence. It's not going to be there forever. But there are things we can do to reduce the frequency and the depth and severity of those feelings.